right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Clear and crisp in St. Louis right now. Your Weather First team tracking a system that could dampen some of our Thanksgiving plans.
Plus tonight, sticker shock, why personal property tax bills are up 30%, and how the state of Missouri assesses what you owe. But first tonight, a 7th grader shot and killed.
It's pretty hard. I can't talk about it without crying. I'm so hurt.
What witnesses say happened.
Just days before Thanksgiving, a Metro East family is now preparing to bury a 13-year-old. Thank you for being with us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. The teen was killed in a drive-by shooting Saturday afternoon in Washington Park. Several of his friends were also hit by gunfire. Just a few hours ago, the 13-year-old boy's parents talked to our Robert Townsend.
Mike and Ann, the heartbroken parents of Johnny McCline say the past 72 hours have been the hardest of their lives. They cannot believe their young son is now gone. Meantime, tonight, police are still looking for the boy's killer.
He is the baby of my 5 kids.
Keisha Davis says her baby, 13-year-old Johnny McCline, just wanted to have fun with his friends on Saturday. Davis says Johnny rode a bus to Washington Park, and then he and his buddies went to this convenience store near 45th and Buncombe Road.
He was leaving the store getting snacks.
Witnesses told police just as the boy and his friends were walking across the street, someone in a white Jeep Grand Cherokee rode by, fired multiple gunshots at the teens, and sped away. Johnny died in this vacant field.
I think it was mistaken identity.
Paramedics took her son's 3 wounded friends, who are 13 to 15 years old, to area hospitals.
He wasn't even out here an hour before he got killed. It's pretty hard. I can't talk about it without crying. I'm so hurt.
Johnny was a 7th grader at Clark Middle School in East St. Louis.
Johnny was a good kid, man. Good grades in school. He got along with everybody.
He's so funny, and he brighten up anybody's day.
Illinois State Police have not determined a motive for the shooting.
My baby girl could have been dead too.
Neighbor Shanika Turner says a random bullet tore through her daughter's upstairs bedroom wall, where one of them was resting at the time.
These kids can't even walk to the store and come out here and play outside without gun violence.
I don't want nobody else hurt. I just want justice for my son because he did not deserve this.
Tomorrow, his family and friends will hold a balloon release in honor of McCline. Now, police are still asking anyone who knows anything about the shooting to call Crime Stoppers.
Robert, thanks. A live look now at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. 55 million Americans will be traveling this week for Thanksgiving. 4.5 million will fly. Nearly 49 million will hit the road.
So what can you or your family expect on the way to the family gatherings? Here is Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the Weather First forecast.
Well, there's good news if you're traveling really over the next couple of days. There's not a lot of big weather problems, not only here locally, but across the middle part of the country and really most of the U.S. Now, it's still wet this evening and will be again tomorrow down into parts of Florida, right along the Gulf Coast. And yes, there is a system coming into the Pacific Northwest. It's just offshore right now. Wednesday is a big getaway day. Tomorrow, there are no problems really anywhere. But Wednesday, if you're driving within an easy hour's drive of St. Louis, heading up to Chicago, over to Indianapolis, maybe Cincinnati, Nashville, looking good down to Memphis. You do notice a little rain showing up as you head down towards Branson, towards Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and heading down into portions of Arkansas. That just increases and gets amplified if you wait until Thanksgiving Day. Yes, we will get some showers in St. Louis for Thanksgiving Day. The good news that we have, though, is that temperatures are staying mild at least through Wednesday and will be near average heading into Thanksgiving Day and through the upcoming weekend. The shower chances Thanksgiving on the increase here locally, and there's a weekend rain chance as well. We'll get into that in just a few minutes, Ann.
Thank you, Scott. If you're driving to your Thanksgiving gathering, be on the lookout for deer. They are all over the roads right now.
The Missouri Department of Conservation says we are currently in the height of deer mating season. And new tonight, our Laura Barcheski learned that there are certain times drivers should be extra careful. Laura?
Mike and Ann, the Missouri Department of Conservation says it's important to be vigilant while driving at dawn and dusk because that is when deer are most active.
And with time changes and stuff like that and shortening day length, a lot of times people are driving to work or school or home during those very same times. So you've got increase of traffic on the roads because of commuting, and you've got a high, time when deer are active.
Which means a lot more car crashes involving deer. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says across the state there were 3,779 crashes with deer involved last year.
So if you're driving and you're in a situation where you're at fairly low speeds without much traffic or anything around, and you can avoid the deer, then yes, if you can do it safely, then try to do so. But if you're at high speeds, there's oncoming traffic, you've got a narrow roadway, whatever, where you might fall off into a ditch or hit a tree, then unfortunately the best thing you can do is just go ahead and hit the deer.
Highway Patrol says in 2021, drivers hit a deer about every 2 hours. 3 people were killed and 420 people were injured, urging extra caution while driving near wooded areas and fields.
One rule of thumb is if you see one deer, there's likely to be others. So even if you see them standing by the side of the road and they're not crossing or anything, just be aware that there's probably other deer in the area. So you want to make sure you pay extra attention.
The Missouri Department of Conservation says the Missouri deer population continues to grow because Missouri isn't home to many timber wolves and mountain lions anymore, which kept the numbers down.
And so naturally you have a hunting season. The challenging part though is when you're in an urban area, it's the standard hunting seasons can't necessarily apply like with firearms and stuff. So there isn't as much hunting going on. Primarily what's the type of hunting going on in more urban areas is archery hunting.
The Missouri Department of Conservation says for good measure, make sure you watch for deer until about early December, even though it's supposed to end in November. We also have hunting information on KSDK.com.
Opened it and I was like, wow, this is like $130 more than it was last year.
That Missouri car owner is not alone. Tonight, people across the state are experiencing sticker shock on their personal property tax bills. 5 on Your Side has learned there is a 30% increase on personal property taxes compared to last year. The main reason the value of your car has increased instead of depreciating. Because of that chip shortage, the price of used cars surged. St. Louis City's assessor says this is not normal.
We're required by Missouri statute to use the National Auto Dealers Association valuation method. Taking the VIN number, when that is submitted to our office, we plug that VIN number into our system and it tells us the value.
Residents are required to pay personal property taxes by December 31st. I'm told if you feel like the numbers are completely off, you can appeal to the state's tax commission. Illinois does not have personal property tax.
The man who shot and killed a Kirkwood police officer 17 years ago is set to be executed 1 week from tomorrow. Tonight, supporters of Kevin Johnson rallied outside the St. Louis County Courts building. Johnson was 19 when he gunned down Sergeant Bill McEntee in 2005. He's filed an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. The group is also asking Missouri Governor Mike Parson to grant him clemency.
We believe that he deserves clemency. He deserves to be able to continue living, even if it's incarcerated, so that he can be there for his family, his daughter, and his new grandson.
Today, the ACLU filed an emergency motion on behalf of Johnson's 19-year-old daughter, Corey Ramey. She's asking to be present for the execution, but state law says witnesses must be 21 years of age.
Tonight, the deadly mass shooting inside an LGBTQ nightclub is being called a hate crime. Just hours ago, the gunman's arrest warrant was unsealed. He's facing 5 counts of first-degree murder and 5 counts of bias-motivated crime causing bodily harm. Tonight, we're hearing from the decorated Army veteran who was one of the 2 men who tackled the gunman, saving countless more lives.
There are 5 people that I could not help, and one of which was family to me. I feel no joy. I'm not happy. I'm not excited. That guy is still alive and my family is not.
The suspected gunman is still in the hospital tonight. We know this is a difficult time for people in the LGBTQ+ community. We have a list of resources at KSDK.com. Just text the word support to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you that information. Tonight, a touching moment before the St. Louis Blues game.
The team paused to remember the victims of the deadly mass shooting at Central Visual and Performing Arts. Two Central students sang the national anthem. First responders, doctors, and school officials were honored and took part in a ceremonial puck drop. Blues captain Ryan O'Reilly presented the school a $25,000 donation in honor of teacher Jean Kushka and student Alexandria Bell, who died in last month's shooting. We're just 2 days away from a Thanksgiving Eve tradition in St. Louis. Tonight, the fight card for this year's Budweiser Guns and Hoses match has been revealed. 32 police officers, firefighters, and other first responders will face off in the boxing and MMA ring Wednesday night. The organization helps families of fallen and injured first responders.
This event is so important to the Backstoppers. 100% of our proceeds go right back to Backstoppers. It's absolutely amazing. You know, it's the biggest fundraiser for Backstoppers, and last year we raised $1 million, and in 35 years we raised $10 million.
Guns and Hoses takes place Wednesday night at Enterprise Center, and the event is sold out.
Facebook ads. There are plenty on your feed. Tonight, we unveil the ones targeting you with dangerous and illegal products. Hamming it up. He's a Hollywood A-lister who grew up in Ladue and now calls L.A. home.
The last time I rooted for the Rams was when Kurt Warner was on the team.
Tonight, John Hamm shares his favorite hometown hotspots.
The first part of the weekend looking a bit more unsettled than originally anticipated. We're tracking that system that brings big changes.
Tragedy tonight in the town of Freeburg, Illinois. Two longtime residents and business owners were killed when their small plane crashed on their way to visit family for Thanksgiving. Joe and Patty Crayer took off from St. Louis downtown airport in Cahokia. After a stop in London, Kentucky, they continued to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Their plane crashed near the airport.
I knew Joe and Patty. They had a machine shop off of 159. Very well liked people in the area, and it's just a tragedy that this happened so close to Thanksgiving, and our prayers are out for his family.
The NTSB is investigating the crash.
It was just a loud smashing sound, I guess. There was just a big gaping hole in the store.
One person is dead, 17 others are hurt after an SUV slammed through a plate glass window of an Apple store. This is south of Boston. Some of those victims were pinned between the SUV and a wall. Officials have released few details. The driver hasn't been identified, and the cause of the crash is not known.
This morning was an unthinkable morning, and people are trying to get through it and process what happened. And we want to get to the bottom of it, and when we do, we will let you know.
The victim who died has been identified as a 65-year-old man from New Jersey. Facebook fans are used to seeing ads, including some for supplements that make incredible-sounding health claims.
A new Consumer Reports investigation finds many of these ads target vulnerable users with products that can be dangerous and illegal. With allusions to boosting brain power and curing insomnia, certain Facebook ads caught the attention of Consumer Reports investigative reporter Kabe Waddell.
We found ads and posts that promoted the use of some supplements that are dangerous or even illegal. For example, we found a series of posts from a verified Facebook page that promoted the use of Comfrey, which is a dangerous supplement.
CR's investigation also found a disturbing trend. Some of the supplement ads targeted specific groups of people.
We found some ads that targeted people who Facebook thought were interested in diabetes awareness, and Facebook was allowing marketers to put ads in front of those people that marketed things like a reverse diabetes kit. And of course, medical experts say that supplements in general can't cure or reverse diabetes.
New Life USA took down that product listing, and its CEO told CR he thinks the people with diabetes should continue to work with their doctors, but he also said they should wean themselves off of medication. CR also found dangerous supplements being sold on Facebook Marketplace, part of Facebook where users can buy and sell new and used items, including Kratom, which the Drug Enforcement Agency lists as a drug of concern. Facebook said the Kratom listing violated the platform's rules, and soon after CR started asking questions, most of the Kratom listings had disappeared. But even if these ads for dangerous supplements are taken down, that might not solve the larger problem.
So unlike a medication, for example, where clinical trials have to be presented to the FDA before something can be approved and be sold. These supplements might end up on the shelves. They're not going through a filter beforehand.
In general, check with your doctor before trying new supplements and be sure to search for information about them in official sources like the NIH's MedlinePlus.gov. If you ever feel sick from taking a supplement, report it to the FDA as what's called an adverse event.
The holiday shopping season kicks into full gear this weekend with Black Friday. And despite historic inflation, shoppers are expected to turn out in record numbers. An estimated 166 million Americans are expected to shop between Thanksgiving Day and Cyber Monday. That's about 8 million more than last year. As inflation plays Grinch to holiday budgets, more Americans are taking on debt. According to one financial service, more than 60% of shoppers have used buy now, pay later in stores or online. Experts say these programs have a higher chance of ruining your credit than credit cards. Younger shoppers are the most vulnerable.
I think it is a slippery slope. If you're going to use Afterpay services, you need to be careful because it is very enticing. Like seeing those, 4 equal payments of $5. Oh, it sounds really good. Oh, it really does. But okay, 4 equal payments of $5 can equally turn into 5 equal payments of $5, and it can transpire to 10, 20, etc. And now you're pretty much in debt.
If you do choose to buy now and pay later, read the fine print and watch for hidden fees.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us with the Weather First forecast as we look ahead to Thanksgiving and a much warmer week this week than last.
Isn't that the truth? Last week, in fact, yesterday morning, we were down to 20 degrees in St. Louis. That's the coldest morning we've had since March 12th. That's how long it's been since we were at 20 or lower. We were 39 at 9 o'clock, and now at 10 o'clock, Lambert went back up to 42. A lot of what's going to determine what our low temperatures are in your backyard tonight will come down to the wind. And where there's not much of a breeze under a clear sky with this cold, dry air mass, look at this. Chesterfield's already down to 27. It is 29 degrees in DeSoto, 34 over at Scott Air Force Base, 36 at Raleigh. You have a little breeze, temperatures are up a little bit. You don't have the breeze and you're in a low spot, you'll be down into the mid-20s easily tomorrow morning. Lambert's at 42, the wind out of the southwest at 6 right now. Again, it's not a very strong breeze, but enough to stir things up. 59 was our high today in St. Louis, overachieving after a low this morning of 28 degrees. Again, outlying areas tonight down into the 20s, mid-20s in the colder spots. Think in town will stay in the lower 30s. And then tomorrow, bright sunshine. Once again, it's a beautiful afternoon. Temperatures soaring back to around 90 degrees. Now, that won't last. As we head towards Wednesday, clouds start increasing. Here's the deal for travel across the country Wednesday. Really, it's the southeast where there's still some rain and the Pacific Northwest. Any rain that we see coming at us from the southwest on Wednesday, very much on the light side. So we're not anticipating any big travel problems on Wednesday. Now, going into Thanksgiving, we actually expect to see our shower chances in St. Louis increase, especially during the afternoon into the evening. Not a lot of heavy rain. That should stay farther to our south. We'll get a break on Friday, and then we'll have more unsettled weather into the weekend. So as we look at Thanksgiving Day in the metro, mainly cloudy to start, but for the most part, we should elude the showers during the morning. Then that chance increases midday. And by the time you're about ready to pass out on the couch from all the turkey, well, then the chances go up. Friday, you get a break. Saturday, especially afternoon into Saturday night. This is a change. That system now looks to be a little stronger, a little farther north. So we've tossed in the rain chances for Saturday afternoon, up them into Saturday night, but they move out Sunday morning. And so if you're traveling on Sunday, a drive from St. Louis or back to St. Louis, if it's an easy day, 6 to 8 hour drive, I think you're in pretty good shape. You might have some rain coming in from Indiana or Illinois or maybe down from Nashville in the morning. But otherwise, I think most of us on Sunday around here locally will be on the dry side. Temperatures are still above 50 degrees this weekend. That's about where our average will be by the end of the weekend. Going into next week, we'll start with dry conditions, and then we have a chance for rain along about Wednesday. Tomorrow and Wednesday, though, this week, couldn't ask for nicer weather. Lots of sunshine, temperatures near 60 tomorrow afternoon.
I'm sure people would rather have it this week when they're off of work, enjoying their family, and deal with last week.
Right.
All right, Scott, thank you. Here's Frank.
Well, the Blues are trying to make it 7 in a row. We had that game. The NFL went to Mexico, and we're playing hit and run with John Hamm. No Torrey Krug, no Vladimir Tarasenko, and no problem for the Blues. The Blues are the first team in NHL history to lose 8 games in a row and followed up with 7 victories in a row. Such a cool moment before the game, the Blues players hugging the students from Central Visual and Performing Arts. Just 11 seconds in, and this is how the evening began for Noel Acciari. That is nasty. Blues led it 1-0. We are 1-1 midway in the third. The Ducks on the power play. And will you look at that glove save by Jordan Binnington? Robert Thomas is the best passer in town since Kurt Warner. First a little behind the back, then the cross-ice pass to Justin Falk for the power play goal. That is your game. 7 in a row. Blues win 3-1. It's on to Buffalo. How have they made this hockey history?
That's hockey, you know. You stay with it, you keep fighting. You know, we were trying and it just wasn't clicking. And, you know, I think we just put in a lot of good work and we got to maintain that and keep pushing hard and, you know, just having that goal and vision in our minds and just keep working.
USA and Wales World Cup. It's Josh Sargent with an early chance that goes off the post. A great opportunity for the local kid. The U.S. scored first, but the lead didn't last. Gareth Bale on the penalty kick rips it past Matt Turner to tie the game. That's the way it finished. USA opens up with a 1-1 draw. Yuri Collins is the A10 Player of the Week for averaging 18 points and 7 assists. He's been in the 20s in 2 of his 5 games this season. SLU will host Paul Quinn College Wednesday night. The 49ers and Cardinals in Mexico on Monday Night Football. And San Francisco may have the most weapons in the NFC. Here's one of them, Deebo Samuel, who will gallop 39 yards on the score. San Francisco wins it 38-10. Jimmy Garoppolo with 4 touchdown passes. We often play hit and run with celebrities. Top Gun Maverick is over $1.4 billion in earnings. So Jon Hamm qualifies. Let's do it. Dinner for 4, which 3 people would you take in the world?
I'd probably ask Tom Cruise because he's a good storyteller and a good guy. I'd probably get Obama in there because he's another great storyteller and good guy. And I think I'd round it out with Craig Berube because I think you need a wild card in there.
Favorite restaurant or bar in St. Louis?
The Cafe Napoli, probably. Ted Drew's, always got to go. Union Loafers, run by my good friend Teddy Wilson. That's another good spot they always try to check out when I get there. And Annie Gunn's.
Number 1 athletic achievement in your life. Was it a 20-tackle day at John Burroughs as a linebacker?
Getting to the state championship finals as a football player, that was pretty great. I wish we would have won. We ended up losing a close one in the Missouri 2A final that year.
I know you live in LA, but you actually root for the Rams?
Oh, I don't root for the Rams. Whoever said that is woefully mistaken. The last time I rooted for the Rams was when Kurt Warner was on the team. No, I think the Rams' checkered history with St. Louis has permanently soured me on that, rooting for them.
Yet another reason to love Jon Hamm. I was concerned. I got bad reporting there. Good to hear. All right, I can offer you this. I can offer you 4.4 40-yard dash speed, a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, or a 100-mile-per-hour slap shot. What do you take?
I've been a lot of things, but never fast. So I'll take, especially at 51. I'll take having that escapability in any arena.
In 30 seconds, sum up your acting career.
Grinding it out and having perseverance. That's really what it's all about. You know, nobody gives you anything in life, and they certainly don't give you anything in this career. But if you stick around long enough and people pay attention, and if you're kind and you're pleasant to people, you will reap the benefits. And that's a big lesson. Be grateful for what you have. Don't be sour about what you don't have, and stick around, and good things will happen.
Eerily similar answer at the end about treating people well on the way up and when you've become a star, because Joe Buck said the exact same thing last week at this time.
And they're good buds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, he obviously has President Obama in his phone.
Yeah, clearly.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Thanks, Frank. That was great.
Who says candy canes have to be red and white and taste like peppermint? The new flavor that tastes and looks like a childhood favorite. Comedian Jay Leno is out of the hospital tonight. The former host of The Tonight Show suffered serious burns in a car fire earlier this month. Leno posed for a picture with hospital staff revealing the injuries to his face, chest, and hands.
2 turkeys have been spared from being a Thanksgiving centerpiece. President Biden pardoned the birds named Chocolate and Chip at the White House today. The official White House Christmas tree also arrived. The 18-foot color fir will go up in the Blue Room.
Hostess is offering a new twist to a holiday favorite. These are Twinkies candy canes.
What?
They taste like the cream-filled yellow sponge cake. Not a bad idea. They're also yellow and white instead of the traditional red and white. And they're available at Dollar General and Michael's. There are a lot of flavors of candy canes now.
When's the last time you had a Twinkie?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
I think it was like
A
grade
kid,
school.
yeah.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Tim Allen is Jimmy's guest. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great tomorrow.